What's up, everybody? It's Spicy Topic. So I was asked to do this video about Rob, and I wanted to do this, but I was reluctant to do it. Before I continue, let me just say to the people that will be in the comments saying he deserves that, he should rot, and everything else negative. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that you should be the judge of anybody. He that's without sin, go ahead and throw the stone, okay? So yes, I just wanted to break and make sure that I know what you're going to say. I know before you even type it that this man is just like anybody else. You might be looking from a perspective of 2008 or back in the 90s when we up in the 2020s. Rather things went down that way. If they have, I will say that people are upset because they were not able to prove that they have. They had a lot of tangible things in their hands. They had visuals and they still failed to prove. So there are a lot of people that's unhappy about that situation all by itself. Some people want to feel like they broke it. They broke the story. They won victory over you and your destruction or your demise. That did not happen. And so what I've noticed is that this is a continuance tear him down campaign. And like I said, I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fact that you had all that physical stuff in your hand and you still failed to prove. That should tell you something. Okay, now back to the video. It's just one thing after another, and it's like a letdown, and it's not really something that I'm jumping and do. I feel like I did so many videos, and it's just like, you want to hear good news, you want to hear just positive news, and it's not really happening at the moment. I feel like so many people have done a lot of content on the situation, so I thought just let it go. But today was a day that things did not go in his favor, or at least in the way that he wanted it to go. But as I did a live by yesterday, and I really felt true to what I was saying, that it's the will of God. Sometimes what we want, it may not necessarily be what is the best thing for us. So I trust that if things don't work out the way that I might want it to work out, as long as I'm trusting in God, then I should just have faith and believe that it'll all work out for the good. So of course TMZ posted, let's take a look at what another article said, because I'm not actually reading from TMZ. And I found this to be crazy because they didn't allow him to go home, but they allowed somebody else to go home. And this situation happened, it actually occurred on his level where he at. So you would think if it's in his space and area that he would be more of a subject that would be sent. I mean, he's approaching his 60s. He's not a young chicken. He is definitely up in the senior age, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if we're keeping to the point, that would make him more of a of a subject to get to go home. So I'm just not really understanding why they chose to keep him there. They're just making up a bunch of excuses at this point. We know better than that, okay? One of the things that they did mention, which is obvious, is that, listen, the first thing I want to say is that about this, they are going to look for anything they can, any and everything they can, to keep him exactly where he is. So although a lot of you may not believe that what can be done can be going against a lot of these females, like you could be going against them and it looks bad, you may not feel like that. It may not even be wrong. Part of the First Amendment right is we have a freedom of speech. That is the number one amendment. But you have to remember, these people in high places, these people that have the power and the authority, they're not always good, and they don't always have the best intention. They are the ones that have the power. So if they say they're over there on social media doing this and that, they're going to use that against him, period. And you and I may not be doing anything wrong. Some people, though, I do find that you do too much, okay? Because you do too much to me. And I'm like, I'm supporting, so you do too much, you know, certain folks. But that's your business. That's what you do. Hey, like I said, I really was reluctant to talk about this situation. I wanted to hopefully have something good to say, but you know, all things do work together for the good to them that love him, the Lord, and are called according to his purpose. So as long as he's loving on the Lord, and we know he's called, and he is called according to his purpose, it's probably time for him to answer that call, you know. So yeah, let me just get into this article really quick. And I was actually looking at let's just call her Clary. Okay, I was looking at her posts earlier while I was scrolling through, and just shocked about some of the things that she said. She had such good things to say about Joy, and it just brought me back to, didn't you tell the world that she did something to you when you was a kid? Didn't you scream that out to get her in some type of trouble? So now what is this act, what is this public act of affection all of a sudden? Where is this coming from? You know, a lot of what they do, they cause people to get upset. They antagonized it. They egged on the anger and the backlash because you took your problems to social media on purpose. You planned to go on social media and attack Joy, and now you're talking about you miss her and you'll love her and this, and they don't have any evidence of him ever fleeing because he's never tried it. So you know, it's just a matter of them wanting to hold him. They just want to keep him there. At the end of the day, okay, I know that if he just trusts in the Lord, that God will see him through and he will make it. He will make it. Because he's a superstar, it may appear that this is the end of the world, but look, I got a brother that's been doing 10 now. He's good. He's good. And I know in my heart that Rob is good. I know that he is surviving. Everyone wants to leave. It's not like anybody wants to stay. So, you know, it would have been nice. I would have been exhilarated, you know, for him that he could be out. But, you know, one thing I'm learning, and one thing I've learned, is that you have to tell yourself, you cannot allow these things to control you, because they will try to throw you off course. The fact that you feel like they're against you, if you focus on that, they're against me, you'll find yourself angry. You'll find yourself starting fights with people. You'll find yourself in a very negative space. But if you say, you know what, this is my fate for now, but how can I trigger my mind to not go ham? How can I think about this situation in a way where this is going to take away that power, that stronghold of trying to control me? You know what? You're gonna make it. You're doing the time. You haven't even gone to trial yet. And so when that time comes, you know, based on whatever happens, then you would have served a lot. So, you know, it all ends up working out for the good. I don't think so.
Okay, cause God gave me a voice and I'm gonna sing anything in my heart. Oh, I just wanna say hello tonight. Hello. I just wanna say hello tonight. And I'm really inspired by all of you. God gave me a voice. He did not tell me what to sing, but he gave me the voice, so I'ma sing anything. Somebody help me out, say anything. voice so I will sing anything. Oh yes, please, anything.
You know, I just pray the best for him, and that his family, his children, his kids, that they all can mend, because you need them as much as they need you at this time. That's what I pray and hope, and that God's will be done. And that's all I got for you for now. Thank you for watching Spicy Topics. Have a good night.